This is my standard 5 artifact for my education technology class. Some of the assumptions I had going into this class, I was a little hesitant because, computers. I'm not very good at computers. I kind of wondered if technology was a necessary part of the classroom. Is it really an integral part? Do we have to have it? And I wondered if it was even a choice, since it is such a part of everyday life now. Is that the teacher's choice to make? Some of the things I learned about technology, I learned how it could be used within the curriculum, within the content that we teach students. I learned that it is a tool. This was a really big thing for me, just what I can use it for to help me better teach the students. It's not like a burden. It's not something I have to learn. It's something I want to learn to be able to be a better teacher. I learned a lot about using Google Apps. I use Google Docs pretty regular, and Google Slides, that's what I'm using now. But Google Classroom, it's good for differentiation. It's good for organizing and just tons of stuff. Definitely plan on using it. We had guest speakers that talked a lot about technology in different types of classrooms. We had Miss Holman and Mrs. Barnes and Miss Aries. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But we talked about math in the classroom or history in the classroom. And all of them talked about the use of Google Apps, like Google Classroom or Google Forms. But we also learned about stuff like Kahoot, or we learned about Khan Academy. We talked about that. We talked about stuff like Desmos for the math one, and I really liked in the history, I believe that was Mrs. Holman that talked about using Google Maps to talk about where stuff happens, and I thought that was cool. For diversity, as far as diversity, I learned that a lot of it's how you interact with a student, how you present the content to them. It is modifications, so you're adapting your lesson to better fit the student's learning needs. You're not completely adjusting stuff and giving them more work if they're higher level or less work if they're lower level. It's not necessarily that. It's meeting them where they are to get them where they need to be, and sometimes the level of where they are is a little lower or a little higher. And Google Classroom was another thing that was good for diversity. I liked how you can individually assign assignments. That way maybe students who would be a little apprehensive about their struggling in their work, they're able to be a little more nonchalant about it, As far as when I was doing my student interview and my personnel interview, I did the assistant principal and the 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Harvey, at Northwood Elementary, because that's the school I'm doing my Block 3 observation in. Miss Harvey talked a lot about consistency, being the same person every day, and how differentiation in the classroom is super important. She used a lot of the computer for her differentiation. They also have a reading specialist. And I learned a lot about forming the classroom as a community and how that can affect your teaching. The assistant principal talked a lot about differentiation